Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture on Module 4 Electronic and Digital Instrument. In this lecture, we shall discuss introduction to the electronic instrument, advantages of electronic instrument when compared to an analog instrument, block diagram and working of true RMS reading voltmeter, block diagram and the working of electronic multimeter. Let us see the introduction. Electronic voltmeter, ammeter, and ohmmeter use amplifiers, rectifiers, and other auxiliary circuits to produce a current proportional to the quantity being measured. This current is measured by a permanent magnet moving coil instrument. This is the analog mode of operation of electronic instrument and therefore they are appropriately called analog instruments. However, electronic instruments use digital readout system and therefore they are called as digital electronic instrument. Till recently, the analog type of instruments have been predominantly in use because of the economic consideration. In addition, analog instruments are more suited for special nonlinear scales such as logarithmic scales. Although the function of analog and digital instrument is to measure voltage, current, and power. Therefore, the instrument which employ electronic device for measuring various electrical quantities such as current, voltage, and power is known as electronic instrument. Next, let us see the essentials of electronic instrument. There are two main essential requirements for an electronic instrument. The first requirement is the power consumption. That is, the power consumed by the instruments for their operation should be as small as possible. The second requirement is the circuit condition should not be altered. That is, the quantity to be measured should not get affected due to the instrument use. Therefore, these two are the essential requirement of an electronic instrument. Now, knowing the essential requirement of electronic instrument, let us see the advantages of these electronic instrument compared to an analog instrument. One of the advantage of the electronic instrument is detection of low level signal. So let us take a small example for this. Let us see the loading effect. Okay. So let us examine the loading effect. A typical meter, let us say that it is having a resistance of 200 ohm and it is carrying a current of 50 microamps. Therefore, the power that is consumed, I can calculate by using the formula I square R, which gives me zero point 0.5 microwatt. This is extremely a low power for power circuits. That is in case of an analog instrument, but not for many electronic and communication circuits. If this power is taken from the measurement, the signal will get distorted in case the power level of the circuit is very small. And to offset this, the power is supplied from outside through amplifier. So similar to the loading effect, let us just take an example with an voltage range. It is having a internal resistance of 200 ohm and full scale current of 50 microamps. Therefore, the full scale voltage range will be is equal to R into I, which is equal to, I'm going to get it as 10 millivolt. In case of lower ranges of voltage have to be measured, the use of voltage amplifier becomes absolutely necessary. And this is only possible through use of electronic voltmeters, which allow the use of an amplifier. Therefore, it is possible, with the help of an amplifier, it is possible to measure the current and voltage of smaller ranges than 50 microamps and 10 millivolt using electronic ammeters and voltmeters. The second advantage is low power consumption. The sensitivity of an ordinary voltmeter is 20 kilo ohm per volt for a 0 to 0.5 voltage range and has an input resistance of 10 kilo ohm and the full scale current is 50 microamps, which load the measured quantity considerably. However, in case of an electronic voltmeter, the electronic voltmeter it has a resistance of the order of 10 mega ohm to 100 mega ohm and has lesser loading effect. As a result, the power that is consumed by an electronic meter is less than that consumed by a conventional meter. Therefore, the low power consumption is also one of the advantage of electronic instrument. The third advantage is high frequency range. Now, this is one of the most important feature of an electronic voltmeter. Why? Because the response of an electronic voltmeter may be made practically independent of frequency. And by using this electronic voltmeter, we can measure the voltage whose frequency can vary from 0 hertz to several hundreds of megahertz. These electronic voltmeters can be designed not only to measure the very small voltages but also very high voltages. The response of electronic instrument is faster and flexible. Electronic instrument can be used to monitor a remote signal. Compactness and portability is also one of the advantage of an electronic instrument. Why? Because due to the small size of electronic components, the electronic instruments are compact and hence portable as compared to analog conventional meter. These are the advantages of electronic instrument when compared to an analog instruments. Next, let us move on to true RMS reading voltmeter. Now, what is this true RMS reading voltmeter and what can we measure? We know that voltmeter is nothing but a device which is used to measure the potential difference between the 2 points. What is this true RMS reading voltmeter? That is, by using this true RMS reading voltmeter, we can measure the RMS values of the voltage of complex waveform. That is, it could be either a sine wave, square wave, or a sawtooth wave. Therefore, the complex waveform are most accurately measured with the true RMS reading voltmeter. The schematic representation of true RMS reading voltmeter is as shown here. So basically, it consists of an AC amplifier, thermocouple called as a measuring thermocouple and the balancing thermocouple, DC amplifier, indicating meter. The indicating meter is connected to the output of the DC amplifier. Now let us see the working of this true RMS reading voltmeter. Now, the AC voltage whose RMS value I want to know or whose RMS value I want to measure should be applied to the input of the AC amplifier. Okay, and this applied input voltage is amplified by an AC amplifier. The amplified voltage is given to the heating element of the measuring thermocouple. What is thermocouple? A thermocouple is a junction of two dissimilar metals whose contact potential is a function of temperature of the junction. Therefore, the heat that is produced in the measuring thermocouple raises the temperature of the thermocouple and produces an output voltage V1 which is proportional to E square RMS of the applied voltage. But there is one drawback with this technique. That is, the thermocouple is often non-linear in its nature. This difficulty is overcome by connecting another thermocouple known as balancing thermocouple. The effect of nonlinear behavior of the measuring thermocouple is cancelled by similar nonlinear effects produced by the balancing thermocouple. The two thermocouple element form part of a bridge circuit in the input circuit of a DC amplifier. The output voltage V1 upset the balance of the bridge. The unbalanced voltage is amplified by a DC amplifier and fed back to the heating element of the balancing thermocouple. The balance of the bridge is established when the fed-back current through the heating element of the balancing thermocouple produces sufficient heat so that output voltage of both the thermocouple are equal and opposite. And at this condition, the bridge is said to be balanced. When the bridge is balanced, the output voltage of the measuring thermocouple V1 is equal to the output voltage of the balancing thermocouple V2. That is, we can write V1 is equal to V2 when the bridge is balanced. When the bridge is balanced, the DC current that is flowing in the balancing thermocouple is equal to the RMS value of the AC current flowing through the measuring thermocouple. This DC current is therefore directly proportional to the RMS value of the input voltage and is indicated by the indicating meter, which is connected to the output circuit of the DC amplifier. Thus, the true RMS value of the applied voltage is measured independently of the waveform of the applied voltage. This is how a true RMS reading voltmeter works. Basically, a true RMS reading voltmeter is used to measure the RMS value of complex waveform accurately. And here the bridge is said to be balanced when the output voltage of the measuring thermocouple V1 is equal to the output voltage of the balancing thermocouple V2. Next, let us go on to electronic multimeter. An electronic multimeter is also called old ohm meter and is one of the most versatile laboratory measuring instruments. And this is used to measure DC and AC voltages and resistance. The schematic diagram of an electronic multimeter is as shown. So if we look into the schematic diagram, it consists of the following element. That is, it consists of the balanced bridge DC amplifier with an indicating meter. That is this one. It consists of a balanced bridge DC amplifier with an indicating meter, an input attenuator or a range switch. So this is required to limit the magnitude of the input voltage to the desired level. Then it consists of a rectifier to convert an AC input voltage to a proportional DC voltage, internal battery and additional circuit to facilitate the measurement of resistance, a function switch to select various measurement functions of the meter. So these are the element the meter consists of. Now, in addition to the above element, the meter has a built-in power supply for operation on AC power lines and one or more batteries for operation as a portable measuring instrument. Now, if we look into the schematic diagram here, a balanced bridge DC amplifier, it consists of two field effect transistors Q1 and Q2. And these two transistors Q1 and Q2, they are matched for current gain in order to ensure thermal stability of the circuit. The two FETs Q1 and Q2, they form the upper arm of the bridge, whereas the source resistor R1 and R2 along with the zero adjustment resistor R3 form the lower arm of the bridge. The indicating meter is connected between the source terminals of the FET. Now, when no input signal is applied, when no input signal is applied to the gate terminals of the FETs, the gate terminals are at the ground potential and no current should flow through the indicating meter. Under this condition, the bridge is balanced. However, due to small difference in the operating characteristics of the two FETs and a slight tolerance difference of the various resistors of the bridge circuit, there may be a slight unbalance in the drain currents. and the indicating meter may show a small deflection from zero indication. The bridge circuit balance is obtained by adjusting the zero control resistor R3 for zero indication in the meter. The electronic multimeter can be used either as an voltmeter or as an ohm meter. Now let us see how this electronic multimeter is used as an electronic voltmeter. Now, going back to the previous slide, when a positive voltage is applied to the gate of the input transistor Q1, its drain current increases, due to which the voltage at the source terminal rises. Due to the resulting unbalance between the source voltage of Q1 and Q2, the pointer of the indicating meter deflects on the scale, which is calibrated to read the magnitude of the applied input voltage. The maximum voltage that can be applied to the gate of Q1 is determined by its operating range, which is usually in the order of few volts. The range of input voltages to be measured can be easily extended by an input attenuator or a range switch, which is as shown in the figure. That is, if I want to measure an voltage of 3 volt, then I have to keep the selection switch at a 3 volt point, and so on. If it is for 30 volt, then it has to be kept at the selection point of 30 volt. This is how an electronic multimeter is used as an electronic voltmeter. Next, we have how an electronic multimeter is used as an electronic ohm meter. Now, when the electronic multimeter is used as an electronic ohm meter, the function switch on the front panel of the meter is placed on ohm position. The unknown resistance is connected in series with the internal battery, and the meter simply measure the voltage drop across the unknown resistance. The resistance range selector switch along with an amplifier and the indicating meter is shown in the figure. Let us see the working of it. Now here, a separate divider network is used for the purpose of measuring resistance, which provides the number of different ranges. When the unknown resistance Rx is connected, here you can see the unknown resistance Rx. The unknown resistance Rx is connected to the ohms terminal of the multimeter. It is connected in series with an internal battery of 1.5 volt, which supplies current through one of the range resistor and the unknown resistor to the ground. The voltage drop Vx across Rx is applied to the input of the bridge amplifier, due to which the indicating meter shows a deflection. Since the voltage drop Vx is directly proportional to Rx, the scale of the indicating meter can be calibrated to read the unknown resistance directly. And this is how an electronic multimeter is used as an electronic ohm meter, by which we will measure the value of the unknown resistance. Thank you.